Morning, everyone. Warren County Fiscal Court, Thursday, April 30th, 2026 is now called to order. We're going to start off today with an invocation by Sarah Jane Zink. She's a Sheriff Department chaplain, and that will be followed by the pledge to the flag from Master Eric Aldridge. Sarah?
Heavenly Father, we come before you now. Thank you so much for the opportunity to gather together publicly and acknowledge you. Lord, we ask for blessing in our community, in our state, and in our country, Lord. A special blessing, please, Lord, for all law enforcement and first responders and military and their families, Lord. I pray that you would protect them and keep them, that you would give wisdom and guidance to this court, to every court in our United States. Please bless all of the leaders of our country. In our Savior's name I pray, amen.
Amen.
If you will, please stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Esquire Cummings.
Here.
Esquire Williams.
Here.
Esquire McWhorter.
Here.
Esquire Lawrence.
Here.
Esquire Aldridge.
Present.
Esquire Lasley.
Here.
First item is approved minutes of the fiscal court meeting on March 26, 2026. There's a motion by Squire Lawrence, second by Squire Lasley. Any corrections? If not, please call the roll.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Item 5 is approve the personnel changes for Warren County. Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire McWhorter. Discussion? Please call the roll.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Item 6 is approve the work schedule for the Warren County Road Department. Motion by Squire Cummings, second by Squire Aldridge. Discussion? Please call the roll.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Item 7 is approve first reading of ordinance 2606, authorizing and establishing a local development area to be known as Nashville Road Local Development Area, designating the county treasurer's office as the agency responsible for the oversight, administration, and implementation of this ordinance, establishing a special fund, authorizing and approving a local development area agreement, authorizing, providing for periodic accounting and analysis, and authorizing such other actions necessary or required by the Act with respect to the establishment and development of the Nashville Road Local Development Area. Our bond counsel, Gil Johnson, who wrote this novel, is also with us today, but we want to speak about this development. Gil?
Thanks, Judge. There's not much to say on this. This is a local TIF area that you've done 10, 11, 12 times before. It's one of the tools that's utilized for economic development. This will be along the Nashville Road, Dillard Road area. I really think it's probably, there was public hearing, there's no comment, and if anybody has any questions or anything directed toward me, I'd be more than happy to answer them.
Gil, I want to say one thing about this development. This will allow some much needed upgrades to infrastructure on the roads of Nashville Road, Dillard Road, traffic lights, turning lanes, and everything else. And so we're excited about a development out there that is going to take off, and so in the Rich Pond area. And so one of the things that we're able to do is be able to incentivize those developments and be able to help with that infrastructure improvement. So
That's correct, Judge. It's infrastructure only to help that economic development.
right. Okay. Motion by Squire Williams.
Second.
Second by Squire Lawrence. Any discussion on that? Please call the roll.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
All right, item 8 is approve resolution 2604, authorizing and approving the issuance of Warren County, Kentucky revenue bonds in a principal amount not to exceed $2.5 million for the purpose of financing expansion and construction of capital improvements. So did you change it on the agenda, not on my agenda? It's a change on everyone's agenda but mine. I love that. That's fine. So, let me back up. Is this being recorded? That's fine. Approve Resolution 2604, authorizing and approving the issuance of Warren County, Kentucky revenue bonds in a principal amount not to exceed $2.7 million. The bond for the purpose of financing the expansion and construction of capital improvements to the SkyPack facilities owned by the county and operate as a fine arts center, authorizing the pledge of the transit room tax and the revenues therefrom, to the payment of the bond, authorizing SkyPack to proceed with a request for proposal for the project, and authorizing such other actions, documents, agreements, and certificates necessary or required for the issuance of the bond and the financing of the project. And again, our bond counsel, Gil Johnson, is with us today.
Well, I'll tell you what, I got two of them going here. This is
Yes, sir.
pretty good. This is a revenue bond. It's to pay for some planned improvements at SkyPack. It is a short-term note. It is structured to comply with specific provisions of Kentucky revised statutes and will be paid back from SkyPack funds. I think maybe one of the projects is ADA. I think it's one of them, or maybe the significant part of that.
Significant, yes.
And-
ADA restrooms on the first floor of SkyPack and some improvements there.
So it's not, the county not using any county funds, not a general obligation debt, and the county does not have an obligation to pay this. It's, as I say, revenue bond, which we've done a few times.
So none of this debt is coming from the general fund of Warren County government.
That's correct, Judge.
Great. Any questions for Gil? Motion by Squire McWhorter, second by Squire Aldridge. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
I'd like to take a moment and thank Keith Brock, our financial advisor, and Gil Johnson, and Karen Roby, who do our bond work. They also were successful in going to the Department of Local Government for the last bond that we just issued for our improvements to the Fire Department, Sheriff's Department, and Parks and Rec. And that was all approved through Department of Local Government. Thank you for the leadership in doing that. We appreciate our partnership with all of you. Item 9 is approved resolution 2608 concerning the Bowling Green ITA's incorporated conveyance of .77 acres of real property to Ashley Michelle Denny and partial cancellation of ground leases and contract, lease, and options related to real property. Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire Lasley. This, of course, is a small sliver of property in the Trans Park that's going to be conveyed to her of the work that she's done on that property. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Okay, now while all of our guests are being paid, none of them are being paid as much as Gil, so I wanted to get him done so he could leave. Hopefully the clock stopped, but we are going to take a break. We have some presentations and a few things we're going to do, and we're going to go through that. In our first one, Sarah Jane Zink's here with the Sheriff's Foundation. I'd like to have her come forward for a presentation.
Thank you so much for this opportunity to speak about the Warren County Sheriff's Foundation. It is a very new foundation. We have been formed just in the last 3 years, and we raise funds to provide the Sheriff's Office anything that's outside the budget. A great example is last year, CSX, the railroad company, had a wonderful grant that we could have gotten a drone through, but the Sheriff's Office could not make that application because it's not a charity. So we were able to do that on their behalf. Another great example is the Ride-Along Bear. And I meant to bring one, but some of you have seen it. As a law enforcement chaplain, many of us in this room have been to critical incidents where there's children present. And we cannot wave a magic wand and fix that situation for that child and take away the pain, but we can give them a teddy bear to hold, and that's making a real difference. I want to invite everybody to the our 5K that we're holding on May 16th. Even if you're not a runner or walker, please come to Ephraim White Park at 9 a.m. and join us and support the Sheriff's Office. We are also putting together the Sheriff's Posse, and that's simply a group of volunteers and leaders who want to stand up and say, yes, I value law and order. Why do we need to do this? Well, there's people that stand up and say, defund the police, and so I personally believe it's valuable to have a Sheriff's Posse. As I said, we're very new and we're very small. We're a very small group of volunteers, so we would love support and we would love people to get involved. Finally, I want to make sure everybody knows that the Sheriff's Office is holding a ribbon cutting and an open house on Monday at 11 a.m. at the brand new beautiful location that the taxpayers have provided for our sheriff at Sugar Maple Square. So please come on Monday at 11 a.m. for the ribbon cutting and open house. We will have a table there. There will be demonstrations, open house, refreshments. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Sarah Jane. That's awesome. All right, we've got a special guest with us today. And today, we're going to honor one of our road department employees who has been with us for quite a long time and has made such a significant impact. So I've got a proclamation I'm going to read, and then we're going to have Glenn come forward. So this proclamation is honor Glenn Richmond. Whereas Glenn Richmond was born on September 11th, 1937 and began his distinguished career with the Warren County Road Department in March 1963 at the age of 25. I was 2 months old. Whereas at the time of his hiring by District 4 Magistrate Harvey Smith, the road department operated with only 9 employees, minimal road name signs, and just 2 dozers and 3 graders. And whereas Glenn Richmond's passion for operating heavy equipment defined his career, and he earned recognition as one of the best equipment operators in the country while training the majority of equipment operators employed by Warren County throughout his tenure. And whereas Glenn Richmond dedicated a total of 57 years of service to Warren County, initially retiring after 37 years in 1999, returning in 2001, and officially retiring again in 2022 at the age of 85. And whereas, even in retirement, Glenn Richmond has continued to share his expertise by operating heavy equipment for local farmers and landowners while enjoying his well-earned time fishing with family. And whereas Glenn Richmond's lifelong commitment, skill, leadership in training others, and positive impact on Warren County's infrastructure exemplify the highest standards of public service and community dedication. Now, therefore, we, the Fiscal Court of Warren County, do hereby officially proclaim April 30th, 2026, and honor this remarkable public servant as Glenn Richmond Day.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Yes, I'm going to do that after 2050. All right, we've got another presentation we're excited about. We have got a final report For the time being anyways, we're excited to share with the public today some of the results of our BG 2050 initiative. And I'm going to ask Sam Ford to come forward, or whoever is coming forward, and take it from here. So.
Appreciate it, Judge Gorman, and thanks as well to all the magistrates for your support of this work over the last 3 years. I and Amanda Havard are two of the three partners with InnoEngine, the company that's been working with the Warren County government to oversee this process, and just want to also give a shout out to our third co-founder, Vijay Kamanini, who's here in the front row. And we've had the great opportunity to work with over 100 leaders in this company across public sector, private sector, and throughout this community, as well as a lot of folks who are working with NGOs on this work. So we'll dive in today. This is a report that will launch on the county website later today.
It's already live.
It's already live.
But don't go to it. Just wait
Don't
till
look at it because we're presenting it here, but as soon as we finish presenting it here, then go look at it. So we are appreciative to have a lot of folks here with us today, a few of whom you will hear from here in a moment. So we'll do just a little bit of recap. First, we'll talk about why this work began in the first place. It started with a conversation with Judge Gorman shortly after he took office about the growth that's coming for our region. Our Chamber of Commerce did further work trying to get precise in that number. You'll already notice we said 143,000 in 2025. I think the new census numbers puts it just shy of 150,000 folks in Warren County. And so as we think about that continued compounded growth, to put it into perspective, we started saying another city of Bowling Green in 25 years or less. How do we think about that? And really appreciative to the fiscal court for saying that's a challenge we need to get out ahead of, and a challenge the county government can't work on alone. We need to all come together and work on this. So Doug has often said, as he's addressing the volunteers in our community, the BG 2050 community, pressure is a privilege. He didn't come up with that. That was Billie Jean King, but he stole it real well. And I think it certainly speaks to the situation Warren County finds itself in, that we've got a great opportunity for us, but we want it to happen for our community. How do we build the strategic plan to make that happen? Who do we want to be? I think one of the big questions is not just what are we excited to see here, but who are we as a community? What are our core values? How do we preserve those and make sure all the things that make Warren County the place we all want to invest time in still be that Warren County when we're growing that fast? A lot of communities have faced that challenge and have had it happen to them, not for them. And so this effort from the beginning was based on what we love about this place. We built it on a concept called civic imagination. This was developed and actually pioneered here in Bowling Green starting in 2017, but through a research partnership with the Civic Imagination Project at the University of Southern California, who have sort of seen Kentucky and Bowling Green in particular as the pilot site of a lot of the methodologies that they've built through funding from the MacArthur Foundation. And really the focus of this is you can't build a future that you haven't imagined first. You've got to imagine it, and then you've got to put a lot of hard work into building what you want to see happen. And it takes the whole county working together to make that happen. So really civic imagination, you can learn more about that methodology. Certainly recommend you check out the Civic Imagination Project's website, but that's really the work that has grounded what we're doing here. And it all started with a workshop. And that was in the summer of 2023. And we, through funding from the fiscal court, brought together 40-some leaders, some of whom are in this room. And I want to give a special shout out to Sharon Bronner, who, even though she doesn't live here in Warren County, currently was part of that work and is here today to celebrate this work and be part of this conversation because she believes in this county so much. And I think it's one thing that's special about Warren County is it gets in folks' minds and hearts, and wherever life takes you. I think a lot of people keep that connection, and just wanted to acknowledge that she was here today. But really came together to imagine what the future might look like. Everybody brought memory objects that tied to why they came to Bowling Green in the first place, something about their Bowling Green story, and we had a lot of conversation around how we maintain those ties. That led to a report that we gave back to this body in the fall of 2023. And what we heard from the volunteers who were in that workshop was, you can't have a one-day workshop and get out ahead of this. This is going to take ongoing work. So once again, through an investment from Youth Fiscal Court, we're able to create an ongoing project called the BG 2050 Initiative. And almost all of those volunteers who were at that original workshop signed up to become part of the ongoing initiative. But one thing they said is, this isn't nearly enough perspectives. We have a lot more leaders in this community. So we broke it out into 8 pillar areas that we needed to focus on. We had a core group to start up each of those 8 pillar areas, but then we recruited what perspectives are missing, what leaders in the community and housing do we need to bring into the conversation. And we did that work over the course of the summer and fall of 2024. Those groups started meeting regularly. Here are just a couple of shots from those group meetings, and they started brainstorming, what do we care about, where do we have a shared vision. They started talking about those shared values that were emerging from this work and these conversations, and those happened in each other's offices, in some cases in each other's homes. Some of the groups met in each other's homes and started having these brainstorms to say, what matters to us, what do we want to see happen. In the process, we were able to attract some great partners, and this is one of the places where I want to again acknowledge that the funding that you all provided to get this started then led to groups coming in and saying, we want to be involved, we want to help. So I mentioned USC earlier. Google and the Jigsaw team came and said, it's a community like yours having the types of conversations this community is having, where we want to figure out new ways technology can help with that. So in partnership with Google and Jigsaw and their funding, alongside the partnership with the Computational Democracy Project and their Polis platform, InnoEngine was able, alongside the work we were doing for you all, the county, to carry out a public engagement campaign called What Could BG Be? I'm going to let my partner Amanda talk a little bit about that work.
Good to see all of you. So as Sam said, all of the work of BG 2050 that was in place, the infrastructure, if you will, for innovation in this community is what led Jigsaw and Google to fund that project that ultimately benefited all of us. I was so struck at the beginning about the BG 2050 initiative's vision, and as one of the pillar leads as well, and as a participant in the original workshop, I wasn't even a resident at that point. I was literally in the process of shopping for a home here, but now happily live here. And what I remember thinking was interesting is that so often planning efforts and so often the vision casting for a community is limited to those who are in elected positions or those who work in the public sector. I thought, man, it's fantastic to see 100 different people, leaders from the community, come together for BG 2050. With the project with Jigsaw, we had suddenly, for the first time ever, the possibility of asking the entire community to weigh in on our future and to be able to give ideas and be able to voice different opinions and help understand what the perspective would be. So as many of you hopefully remember, if I did my job at all, this feels familiar. You've seen it before because this was my job, was to make sure you saw it. This, like I said, allowed us to take everybody who was in this community who claimed Warren County and Bowling Green as theirs in some way and be able to bring things to life. And as you recall, in the spring of last year, after we held that initiative, we then published a report that, number one, because we all believe in transparency, is every single comment that went in and data around it, and then also the output from the Jigsaw tool that we were ultimately helping test in that project, which was the sense-making tool. And so this is just a screen cap of what the topics and then subsequent subtopics, in this case we're looking at K-12 education, application. If you have not spent time in this, it is highly interactive. It's not a quick scroll. It's like, go spend some time and see how it came together. There's a wealth of information here, and this still lives publicly at whatcouldbegb.com. It'll say, see the report, and soon you'll see this other report we're talking about too. So with that, I think we have a video that's going to that kind of recaps a little bit of that process, and then I'll let Sam keep telling us a little bit more.
Sounds good. Now let's see if the video plays. It's the most exciting moment in every meeting. Let's find out.
143,000 people today in Warren County, Kentucky. 233,000 by 2050. This type of growth it's a lot of pressure, but the greatness of our community has always been what I like to call oneness, and oneness is all of us working together to have the type of community we all want to live in.
What do you think?
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 What do you think BG could be?
What could BG be in 2050?
It's live. Make sure you go and start weighing in.
For you to get involved in a conversation about your community, scan the QR code on your screen or go to whatcouldbgb.com.
We're going to deliver 20,000 papers that are dated February 17th, 2050.
The What Could BG Be initiative.
Help shape the future of Bowling Green.
More child-friendly activities, bringing in more tech-focused businesses and programs.
What exactly could BG be in 25 years?
If you would hit on the link below, share what you would like to see happen in Bowling Green.
Multi-sports facilities.
Making sure that we brand ourselves as our own community.
Continued opportunity, like city opportunity.
What kind of ideas are we going to have that in 2050 that really come to fruition?
BG, I think, could be the biggest city in Kentucky one day.
So, just to recap, workshop that started nearly 3 years ago, the report back to the county government. We've really been working as a BG 2050 pillar groups over the past 2 years. It was a year ago that report came out in April of 2025, and our pillar group volunteers have been working throughout the summer and fall in their pillar groups to think about, with data and information about our common values, to think about priorities. And the work we've been doing at the beginning of 2026 that leads to the report that we're releasing today is really a synthesis of all that work. So this is an important milestone, as Doug said. You could position it as the final report. You can also position it as just the beginning, because now what? We'll get to that in a little while. Our goal here isn't a report, it's action. And we've got a lot of folks who are here with us to back that up. But in the meantime, over the last year, we've had the great chance to have what we're doing gain some attention. So one thing that certainly I think has brought benefit to our community is that the way we do things is attracting attention and even modeling from some other folks. Marin County, California, Napa Valley. We've had other counties in Kentucky who've called us to say, how can we learn from the way Bowling Green and Warren County is doing this? And so, again, very appreciative to the fiscal court for helping enable that and making it happen. But I also want to say, very thankful to all our pillar volunteers for doing that. If you're involved in BG 2050 and on one of those pillar groups, could we have everybody just stand up if you don't mind? One of the great things about a process like this that's living and breathing and ongoing is a lot of the work that came up, the brainstorms that we've had. People didn't wait to say, well, we're going to release a final report in April 2026, then we'll start doing some stuff. So many of the things you'll even hear about today that you'll see in the report are things that are happening, are things that came out of conversations, that came out of collaboration across multiple entities, some of them public sector, some of them private sector. We've got a few headlines, and this is from the past few months that have just come up, as County Parks and Rec take into account all the data from What Could BG as they formulated their strategic planning. As we've seen just very recently, the city, as they're building out the riverfront park, sort of tying it to what they've learned from the BG 2050 initiative and the conversations that we've been having. Ben Peterson's here. We have the great pleasure of working with the Planning Commission as they start the comprehensive planning process for 2027 and working to take all these conversations, all the data that's been generated, and think about how we do comprehensive planning as a Warren County way of doing it. And I'll also acknowledge that many of these pillar volunteers have already pledged to work with the Planning Commission in their working groups as they go through that process as a very committed set of servant leaders we have here in Warren County. So from there, what we're all gathered here today for is the unveiling of this report and all the work that these volunteers have put into priorities over the last stretch. So you'll see as you start flipping through this report, we've got a stated vision. This is really a synthesis of the vision that each of the groups turned in separately. There was a lot of common points, a lot of common feelings about the values that we hold. And you'll see a description of each of those values that these groups sort of decided together through the work we've done that what makes Warren County special is it's family oriented, it's welcoming, it's inclusive, it's dynamic, it's thriving, it's destination worthy. I remember a long time ago the Louisville Courier-Journal said Bowling Green, Warren County is a place to stop and get gas on your way to somewhere else. That wasn't true then, it's definitely not true now, and in 2050 we want this to be a place that we know people come here on purpose and with purpose. And that's an innovative community, and I think certainly the Warren County way of doing things, that we don't just follow the pack, that we learn from others, but we try new things, we build new processes. That really is what came out through the work of all these pillar groups. So we're going to have a few of them help share. We have 9 priority initiatives that are shared in this strategic plan. We have a few folks take a little time at the mic who've been involved in this work to share it, and we'll start with our first initiative, which is telling the Bowling Green area story with a spirit of oneness. Who was it that first used that phrase, Judge? I'm going to invite Julie Milam from Bowling Green Chamber up to the podium to talk a little bit about this work.
I didn't get that from Billie Jean King, I can promise you. I came up with that myself, so it's good.
Well, good morning, Judge Gorman,
Good morning.
magistrates, community leaders. I am Julie Milam. I have the incredible honor of serving as the Executive Vice President of Partnership at the Bowling Green Area Chamber of Commerce. I am equally proud to serve as the BG 2050 liaison for the storytelling pillar, work that is deeply personal to me. I have dedicated the majority of my career to helping tell the story of this phenomenal community. Today, I'd like to talk about something very, very powerful, something that already exists here, but that we now have the opportunity to strengthen with intention. That is the spirit of oneness. When we talk about oneness, we're not talking about sameness. We're talking about alignment. It's the idea that while each organization, each leader, and each voice in this community tells our story in their own unique way, we are all rooted in a shared understanding of who we are, what we stand for, and where we're going. Because the truth is, the stories we tell shape everything. They shape how our residents feel about where they live. They shape whether a young professional chooses to stay or go. They shape whether a business decides to invest here or look elsewhere. And when those stories are aligned, when they reflect a unified vision, they become incredibly powerful. That is what we're building through BG 2050. You're already seeing it take shape. Through an ever-growing community calendar that helps families and visitors experience everything our region has to offer, through stronger coordination between economic development, tourism, and talent attraction, so we are not just working hard, we are working together. And through the vision of an ambassador program that ensures every person who enters this community feels welcomed, connected, and inspired. This is how we create not just growth, but meaningful growth. And perhaps most importantly, this spirit of oneness doesn't stop at a city limit or a county line. It extends across our region, connecting us to neighboring communities, strengthening our collective voice, and positioning South Central Kentucky as a place where people want to live, work, and build their future. Because at the end of the day, our goal is simple: to honor what makes each of our communities unique while telling one clear, compelling story about this community and why it is extraordinary. That is the power of oneness, and that is the future we're building together. Thank you.
Thank you, Julie. Thank you.
Now to talk about the next two initiatives, we're going to welcome to the podium Dr. Terrence Brown.
Good morning, Judge Executive, magistrates, and members of the Fiscal Court. In this report, you will not hear a request for a Trader Joe's. My name is Terrence Brown, and I have the pleasure of serving as Dean of the Potter College of Arts and Letters at Western Kentucky University. I'm also pleased to support the BG 2050 work as a liaison to the Economic Development Pillar Group. The next 25 years will be important for Bowling Green and Warren County as we continue to diversify our economy. We have strong foundations in agriculture and manufacturing, but we also have an opportunity to grow new knowledge-based jobs in technology, healthcare, media, entertainment, creative industries, and entrepreneurship. For that to happen, talent attraction must be one of our highest priorities. We need to retain more WKU graduates, reconnect with alumni, and attract new people who see Bowling Green as a place where they can build careers, families, businesses, and more importantly, futures. This is not just about bringing people here. It's about strengthening our workforce, expanding our tax base, supporting local employers, and helping our young people see a future in South Central Kentucky. This is not theoretical. Communities that have invested in talent attraction are seeing new results every day. Tulsa Remote has attracted thousands of workers with a reported 96% completing their first-year commitment and about 70% remaining in Tulsa after the completion of the program. Nationally, Make My Move reports that relocation programs have helped nearly 5,000 households move and brought more than $500 million in annual household income into participating communities. That is why the Commonwealth's latest budget matters so much. The $5 million line item for Warren County Fiscal Court gives us a real opportunity to build on proven models and tailor them to South Central Kentucky. This investment can help us move from conversation to implementation. It can help us tell the Bowling Green story more clearly, support families, people who are considering to move here, and expand tools like Co-Create Talent Database, and position our region as a destination for skilled professionals, entrepreneurs, creatives, and growing businesses. But attracting talent is only part of the work. We must also build the innovation infrastructure that helps people succeed once they are here. That means supporting entrepreneurs, expanding incubator and accelerating spaces, creating stronger connections between education and business creation, and building a regular rhythm of innovation events that connect talent, employers, investors, and community leaders. It also means creating stronger pathways from high school to higher education, to founder opportunities, so our young people do not have to leave this region to pursue bold ideas. They should be able to build them here. If we do this well, Bowling Green and Warren County become known as a founder-friendly, entrepreneur-led region. But more importantly, we become a region where public investment produces private sector growth, where talent wants to come here, graduates want to stay here, and ideas have the support they need to grow. Thank you.
As we've been going through this process, just want to say we've been very fortunate that our county and our city school systems have been so heavily involved. And I'll give you 3 quick examples from the city schools. because our next speaker is going to be here from the city school system. Had a chance earlier this week at the culmination of a year-long journey at Potter Gray Elementary among their fifth graders to go through the BG 2050 initiative and to highlight their ideas, many of them their business ideas, for what they want to see in the Bowling Green of the future that they personally wanted to build. And I'll have to say, I heard somewhere around 90 to 100 pitches from some of our brightest young entrepreneurial Bowling Greenian and Warren Countyans in that conversation earlier this week. Also want to say Bowling Green High School has both had the BG 2050 initiative out in general to present to their whole student body, and then this year as part of the curriculum of their geography classes have invited folks from the BG 2050 initiative to talk to students about urban growth planning, et cetera, and bake it into the curriculum so the concepts they're learning in their textbook shows up in the county that they live in. And with that, I want to introduce a stalwart member of our Quality of Life BG 2050 group, Mr. Gary Fields.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You snickered when he said that.
No, I did not. I'm honored.
I'm honored to speak before the magistrates and the judge executive. My name is Gary Fields, Superintendent of Bowling Green Independent School District. I've just finished in my 11th year as superintendent. I've been a public educator in this community since 1996 when I came to this community, and I love Bowling Green and Warren County. Investing in a lifetime of learning from early childhood through adulthood. And that has been a theme in this community for many years. But it is critical for our goals to get to 2050 in an orderly manner and a successful manner. I am part of the quality of life pillar for BG 2050, and there are strong connections between quality of life and great education. We are blessed in this community to have outstanding school systems, and so from childcare to preschool, we have amazing opportunities. In our K-12 arena, from Bowling Green Independent to Warren County Public Schools to our private schools, we have amazing schools for our children. In higher ed, Sky CTC and Western Kentucky University are amazing leaders and provide our kids so many opportunities to be future leaders in this community. And then, although not an actual educational institution, the Chamber of Commerce and their role that they play in linking education to the workforce and to the growth of this community are critical. But we have some real priorities that I think we need to focus on. One of those is affordable, flexible, high-quality childcare and preschool options. The communities that figure that out are the communities that are growing. The communities that don't figure that out are the communities that are dying. And we have to be innovative. Our school district decided we had to be part of that solution. So recently, we opened a 66-child daycare for our staff. And we have children from 6 weeks old to 4 years old. We had to solve that problem. We must do that as a community, and other organizations come together to do that. But at the same time, I'm preparing, or our district is preparing, the future daycare owners and the daycare workers who are going to be available to take care of our children as our adult workforce heads off to work. Really proud of that. Personalized learning. We have emerging tech like AI. We have opportunities at Bowling Green High School and the soon-to-be-open Impact Center in Warren County Public Schools. Amazing opportunities. The kids are going to be working on cutting-edge educational opportunities that are going to dictate what kind of businesses move to our community. So we are going to prepare them for that. We also are going to build on our successes. We are a healthcare hub, and we sit perfectly between Louisville and Nashville. Where do people want to get their health care? They want to come to Bowling Green. I hear that all the time from my colleagues in surrounding school districts. So how do we prepare the next generation of healthcare workers? Well, both school districts, Sky CTC and WKU, are doing that right now. We must continue to push forward and be leaders in that area. We must continue to be leaders in preparing the next generation of construction workers, electrical workers, HVAC workers. And we are doing that in our public education and private education systems. We must create entrepreneurship opportunities and professional services opportunities, because that is kind of the tweak and the twist that we're taking maybe with our economy right now. We are beginning to prepare kids, as is Warren County and SkyCTC and WKU. And then the new career fields that are coming in. We must be ready to do that. But the continuum from, early childhood education through higher ed is critical for this community to continue to grow. And so that's very important. And I'll say this, a community is judged by its education, its public education specifically. Communities that have great public education are thriving. Communities that are struggling with public education tend to be on the front page of the newspaper, even in our own state. And so we want to be the leader in that area. And I always tell our folks in our school district, and I'll say it to you today, we are only as good as the opportunities we give to the kids that grow up just blocks away on the west end of Bowling Green. And if those students have the opportunities that every student in this community has, we are going to be a thriving community. And thank you for being visionaries in this work.
Thank you, Gary.
If the BG 2050 initiative had a mascot or a spirit animal, it would be Chad Spencer. Chad Spencer.
Wow. Okay, Chad, welcome.
Thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to present to you today. Thank you, Sam. He told me I only had 2 minutes, so I have to read what he told me to say because I go on a tangent about what we do at Goodwill and how we serve our community. And I was one of the people in the talent development pillar, and this pillar is designed to, we specialize in keeping exclusive career paths to support everyone in our community. And I really felt some type of way when I was asked to do this because what we do at the Opportunity Center is we give people with barriers to employment that opportunity to really work on being their best self after a tragic whatever happened. So I was able to provide the infrastructure for people that may not have a smartphone or may not have the resources to be able to participate in the BG 2050 and what we were trying to do. One of the things that really, really touched my heart was as we were talking about talent development and helping people get to where they want to be. We were in one of the BG 2050 Talent Development Group member meetings, and Michael T. with Leadership Strategies Group and John Sowards with our South Central Workforce Development Board, we were talking about how can we get our new Americans integrated. So Michael had a conversation with one of my career coaches, Sukana, and we were able to develop a program that ran for 2 weeks called Thrive. Thrive was designed to assist new Americans in American culture and how to not only get a job in our country, but sustain that job. It was a 2-week workshop, boot camp style to help with professionalism, behavior, and workplace expectations, communication, and teamwork. But alongside with that, as Warren County has been designated a recovery-ready community, that is very important. Because the work that Goodwill and our Opportunity Centers do, we help people with barriers to employment. And those barriers can come from anything, whether it be reentry from incarceration, addiction recovery, unhoused, but also long time out of work for women who decided to raise their kids, or older people who have retired and now need to get back into the workforce. Technology is huge right now, and you can't get a job without applying online. So I have coaches that are designed to walk that path with anyone re-entering the workforce, and I love what I do. We are good at what we do, and we are here to give everyone a voice, and that's why I'm so happy I was asked to be part of the talent development because again, I'm one of those people who wants everyone in our community to be a part of designing our future in 2050.
Thank you, Chad.
2 minutes.
That Thrive program is just one example, and Michael sitting right behind you, of when I said we aren't going to wait for this process to be over to start doing things. An idea came up, hey, we can do this in 2025, 2026, let's do it. And how do we build on that? So next, I want to welcome from our housing group a young entrepreneur who has decided to make his house and home here in Bowling Green, Khalil Garman.
Sam knew I wasn't going to follow that rule, by the way. But I'll try. Okay, I had some notes on my phone, but... Well, first, thank y'all for having me. Good morning. My name's Khalil Garman, and I'm from Louisville, Kentucky. I came to Western for school, and I've been here since 2021. That was the year I graduated. Winter of 2021, what a year. That was traumatic. The day of my graduations were the days when the tornadoes happened, and I think a little trauma bonded to Bowling Green. But I really do love this place. The last time I was actually in this building, it was when I was an intern with Operation Pride. So the pride, the beauty of this city is something that I care about a lot. The accessibility that I'm an entrepreneur. Should probably tell you a little bit about my background. I have a company, Sam mentioned, it's called MoneyBot, and we work with the local schools here, nonprofits here, to we give schools the tools to teach their students about money, about finances, about entrepreneurship. And that's my connection to the housing group, because I believe housing is an extremely important part of the American dream, ownership. And that's some of the three things that I want to hit on today is accessibility part, transportation, the access to the resources is something that's important. The beauty, having the creative vibe, the energy to where I go out and I see things, people, culture that inspires me is important. And then the last thing, housing. I also studied real estate in school. So I always thought that they were the coolest types of entrepreneurs. It was a little too slow for me. That's why I got into tech. I like building quickly in games. But that's my perspective. That's where I come from. And I want to tell a quick story. One of the things that stuck out to me when I was first joining this BG 2050 group was the leaders that I was able to meet. You have, Dr. Brown. But there's a story about Mr. Fields that I don't think he's ever heard. While I was working with the county schools. So I think this encapsulates the group and the reason why I chose to stay in Bowling Green. So when I was talking with the schools, I'm from Louisville, so JCPS, y'all know there's a whole lot of going up there. I'll just leave it at that. But that's what I come from. I'm the son of a principal. So when I was coming down to Bowling Green Junior High, Principal Lightning, he's really into financial things and entrepreneurship, so he's gung-ho about this. And he's like, what do we need to do? And I'm like, well, we got this, how can we cover this? And he's like, Khalil, look, I see you getting really excited, you're getting really into the technical details about how this can happen. But let me tell you a conversation I had with Mr. Fields. When I do that stuff, he goes, Lightning, does it help the students? Does it help the students? If it helps the students, we can figure out the rest, we can figure out the details. But does it help our students? And if it helps our students, we can figure out the rest. And I realized that sort of energy and vibe is throughout BG 2050. Can we help our future? Can we help the youth? Doesn't matter what it looks like, the details. We will get it done if it helps our youth. And I think that vibe energy is why I chose to stay. My friend came up from Louisville the other day. He went to the innovation campus where I work out of. He's like, dude, how much is your rent? I told him, and he just looked at me, stared at me. He's living in the middle of Louisville, and he's like, do you know anyone in the medical field? My girlfriend works at Humana. How can we get down here? And that's the things I think that's why I love Bowling Green. That's why I'm here. That's why I chose to build a business here. And that's why I'm part of BG 2050 to continue that growth. And the little things like transportation I didn't realize. Getting to the innovation campus is a big deal. I was blessed with the car, transportation. Love Nashville. Love going to Louisville. I love being able to go to those airports. But some of my international friends didn't have that. That's a big access to entrepreneurship. I've always been blessed with housing. And then when I studied real estate, I realized, wow, ownership is that's the American dream. That's the key to generational wealth. And that all goes into MoneyBot. That all goes into my passion about financial literacy and what I think we're doing with BG 2050. So that was probably way over 2 minutes. But that's my spiel, and that's why I love Bowling Green. And that's why I think we love Bowling Green and how we can attract more folks who love Bowling Green. Thank y'all.
I don't know if the magistrates are going to cut you off when you're talking about how much you love Warren County, so. Speaking of loving Warren County, let's talk just a little bit about quality of life, both for our residents and for the folks who visit. And for that, I'm going to invite up from back down south, Kristen Robinette.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me. I am Kristen Robinette. I'm the owner of Back Down South, which is a boutique that has been open for almost 11 years on Fountain Square, which I'm very proud of, and I have a lot of people to thank for that. The community support that I've been given over the last 11 years is unheard of, definitely. I have a young and growing family, so I am very fortunate to be involved in the BG50 for many reasons, business being one and family being two. I think that the tourism group, number one, is the fun group, and we get to talk about all the things that we need in Bowling Green to keep families here, to keep bringing new people here, and to keep our locals here. I think that is something that we don't talk about enough is, right, we're always talking like, how do we bring new people to Bowling Green, which obviously we're doing in many other ways, but it's how do we keep the locals here too? How do we keep the locals happy, and how do we keep their money in our town? Because that's not gonna help just us, it's gonna help everyone. It's gonna bring new business, it's gonna bring new childcare, it's gonna bring, you know, these families that we want and the healthcare that we need. It really is all intertwined, which is what I have really learned about BG50. That it's not just about one group, it's about all the groups working together. So with the tourism group and all the fun things that we've been talking about and what we can bring to Bowling Green to make us better than Nashville, to make us better than Louisville, and to keep those young, fun families with the money coming here and staying here, we've kind of touched base on a lot of different things and aspects and what we can do to set ourselves apart from everyone else, because we have so much to play off of, right? Like, I mean, we're so close to Nashville, the music industry is right there. We're so close to Bargentown, why do we not have a bourbon trail? Like, how can we do that? Like, why not? And really the answer is because we're just being too lazy, right? We need to, we do. There's just truly so much that can be done. There's so many ideas, and we just have to step behind each other and put all that into play. One of the biggest things that I've heard about for years is this riverfront project. And I mean, BG50 starts, and next thing you know, here we are, Play One is in action. It is something that is going to keep families downtown, which I'm all about, but it's also gonna help us grow. I mean, before we know it, we're gonna have more bars, we're gonna have restaurants, we're gonna have these music venues that we've been talking about for years, and all because of this riverfront project, which of course, I know nothing about all the things that go into it, but I can tell you that it's gonna be wonderful, and that it is going to keep this town different than everyone around us, right? Like, Owensboro has the riverfront, sure, but do they have whitewater rafting? No. It really is so funny how simple it seems. But just how easy it really can be for us to set ourselves apart. The Nashville aspect of it all, I always say, especially having like a retail, right? Like, everybody's like, well, let's just go to Nashville, let's just do this, let's do that. It's like, why not come to Bowling Green? We have it all here, so many people just don't know about it. So our music industry has grown so much over the last couple of years. My husband was in the music industry, we lived in Nashville for a bit, so I can attest to that. But there are so many people in our community that are already doing so many awesome things, like at the Capitol, having these like writers' rounds nights, and you know, all these like small things that are eventually going to become really big. And just listening to the BG50 community and reading these reports, like, we're already on our way to that. So we just need everyone behind us. These venues that we're going to have are going to go from really small to really big, and it's going to capitalize on everyone, because not everyone wants to go to a huge show, right? Sometimes it's about following that local artist who wrote that song that no one knows about, and you just walk in and you're like, oh, well, I had no idea. And those are the people who are coming to Bowling Green. They're the ones who aren't playing Bridgestone. They're the ones that want to be, you know, under the radar, but just have this huge following. And that is the kind of stuff that we can do in Bowling Green. That's how we can set ourselves apart. We all have to get behind each other, support each other, and make Bowling Green great. Thank you.
Now we'll talk for a bit about our last two priority initiatives, and I'll let Amanda go first as we talk about public health.
It's slightly not fair that I got to follow the fun group because I'm here to talk to you about public health. But that's okay. I'm Amanda Havard, and I've had the pleasure of standing before this court before talking about healthcare and mental health and some things that are important to us. Our 8th priority initiative is weaving wellness into every area of our lives so we can really help our residents thrive. And to that end, everything we've talked about up until now is about how to build a community, how to build the businesses, the infrastructure, how to think through the policies that we need, how to, what to attract and how to retain. This is entirely about people, right? Because when you think about a healthy community, it really needs to have healthy people inside it. And the stronger our health and healthcare community are, the stronger we will be to build this BG we've all been talking about. So ultimately, there's a number of initiatives that we have in mind, as you can see, and I call out a couple of them. Being able to really start to think through, when I've been here before, we've talked about mental health. And one of the things before I even moved here that I said I hoped in coming to this community that I could do was not just keep treating people in crisis, but start working on some of the upstream effects that create those mental health crises. And I believe absolutely that teaching psychosocial skills, bringing in different mental health education and resources into schools, and even into workplaces, into churches, into places where the more that we learn to think about our thoughts, the more that lovingly we'll put Chad out of a job, and that's okay because he'll find something else to be enthusiastic about, because we will have fewer people who end up in addiction, incarcerated, and in those difficult situations. We also all know that we need, as a growing community, we need to be able to have adequate health care in terms of enough providers and doctors who are very high quality and who are specialists. We've talked so much today throughout this about this spot that we hold between Nashville and Louisville and how we don't want to keep having to look elsewhere to go find the care that we need for ourselves and for our families. And so while we have so many different pieces of this that we want to, so many different initiatives here, I want you to think about what does it matter if that we have attracted the right people if we don't have the doctors here to deliver their babies when it's time, if they don't have the adequate early childhood education, all these things you've already started hearing about. What does it matter if you have the world's best job, you can afford to live here, you're building wealth for your family if you don't know how to speak to one another at the dinner table because you don't know how to manage your thoughts and emotions, right? So when we think about what we're trying to do here and what these initiatives look like, that is really, we are thinking about the people of future Warren County and future Bowling Green. Which leads us to our 9th initiative. So much the same way that this was not a project where we waited to put in motion, and here you have this report and we'll see you in 2050, that's not what's happening here, right? We know that in one way this is the end, and in the other way this is the absolute beginning. The work starts now. And because of that, one of the main things that we want to make sure is that we've actually created the structure to build deliberate 5-year plans that have 1-year and 3-year milestones. We don't need to think of this as an ethereal concept. We need to think of this like project management. And as we just showed you in all of these initiatives, quite a few projects and ideas and things that we need to get in motion and managing. So with that, I will let Sam tell us a little bit about where we go from here.
Appreciate it. We've already gotten to work, as you've heard from a lot of the examples folks have shared today, and really that's what this is all for. So I'll just say a word now if you want to switch to the next slide. You know, we're putting a lot of thought into how do we build this together. Well, first of all, it's going to be through collaboration. That spirit of oneness is not just about storytelling. The storytelling works because it's true. This is a community that collaboration and integration and alignment has really caused a lot of great things to happen here. How do we use BG 2050 as a community to continue doing that and bring leadership together? Using this document as a roadmap for both public and private efforts, thinking about how different groups can invest together in initiatives, and how we leverage the story coming out of this for our community and culture. Finally, we referenced this at the beginning, we're publishing this document today. We see it as a living document, not one that's locked today and that won't be updated, amended to, added to, et cetera. And really those 5-year plans with those year 1 and year 3 milestones will be a way of doing that. So appreciate it. We're going to end with quotes from not one, but 2 World War II heroes. Sir Winston Churchill said, now, this is not the end, nor is it the beginning of the end, but it is perhaps the end of the beginning. The first phase, what we've done over the last few years, was really setting up for what we're going to do next as a whole community. The Warren County government, this fiscal court is what has made that possible. It got the ball rolling. Could have just been a one-day workshop, but your continued vision in this has allowed this whole community to continue working together and thinking about what we might do next. And then I'll end with Dwight D. Eisenhower, one of my favorite political figures. Plans are worthless, but planning is everything. This is not a guess that we're going to put on a shelf, as Doug said. We had fun with a time capsule that actually looks very nice out there now. You should go check it out. But this is a living plan that we're going to be working on month in and month out. So thank you all for the investment. Thank you for the energy. Any questions you have, we've got a whole room full of people to answer it now or later. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. Just very quickly, and then we'll get back to the agenda and a few other things, but I just want to thank each and every one of the volunteers for making a difference in this community. I'm honored to work with each of you, to Julie, Kristen, Khalil, Terrence, Chad. I love how Gary has separated himself from his other volunteers. Gary Fields down there. I appreciate all of them taking the time. This is a fantastic report. I would encourage you to look through it. That was even though that might seem like a little bit, that was a brief description of what's going to happen. And when you take a look at that report, you'll be amazed at how beautiful and great this community is, but how beautiful and great this community wants to continue to be. That's what I'm excited about. Thank you to the members of Fiscal Court who have invested in this and saw that vision along with me about trying to figure out where are we going. So thank you all so very much for that as well. Thank you all again. All right, we got one more thing to do. Each year, every 4 years, Fiscal Court, if we have members that are running for office, we allow them to come up for a minute or two, introduce themselves. We do that in the primary. If you have a primary contestant, we do that. We'll do it again in the fall for anyone that's contested in the fall. And so we do have, I'm going to put the pressure on them. There was a scheduling conflict with a gentleman running for 4th District Magistrate. Terry Hendrick cannot be with us, but Rex McWhirter is here. Rex, if you'll take a minute, you can talk right now. Introduce yourself.
Thank you for everything and all the support I've had. This is my 12th year, starting my 12th year as county magistrate. I'm so passionate about this county. I try to answer every question. I grew up in Clinton County, came here and graduated from Western with an agriculture degree. I met my wife our second semester. We were married in 1973. So they'll give you a little idea. I was 21 when I got married, so y'all can do the math. We have 4 wonderful kids. I'm so blessed. I have a son that's, a lot of people know him, McWhirter Chiropractic. His name's Jeremy McWhirter. He's a doctor of chiropractic. I have a son that owns his own appraisal company, Nicholas McWhirter. And a son that works, he's the only one that's away from home. He's in Franklin, Tennessee. He works for HCA. He's an accountant, doing very well. And my daughter is home with twins and a 5-year-old. So that keeps my wife busy when we're not campaigning. My career was always in finance. My first job was 1973 at Bowling Green Bank and Trust. I was a branch manager when I left there, and I went to Federal Land Bank. Having an ag degree, I thought that would allow me to do some farm lending and get to know some farmers. After that, I went to Gary Force and financed cars for 12 and a half years. And then I bought my own company, mortgage company from Ward Elliott. It was residential mortgage. We owned that for 13 years. And we sold that to a company. I kept doing the financing for another 5 or 6 years until I retired about 5 years ago. I am a longtime Republican. I have been active in the community, coached Pee Wee baseball. I can brag about my Pee Wee A's. We won the championship, local championship, and it was like winning the World Series. I also coached Little League and Babe Ruth. I was very active in organizations like the Red Cross. I was 4 years, I was in JC's many years, but I was 4-year treasurer of the Southern Kentucky Fair. And that is a long-term, non-thankless thing to do. I've always tried to be available through my phone. I try to never not answer my phone and be transparent and honest and fair to everyone. I've had several phone calls this morning, but you can see I haven't had to answer those, so we'll get to those later. In my 11th year as a magistrate, we've lowered your taxes 9 out of 11 years. We've blacktopped hundreds of roads, and we're still doing that. We blacktopped Luther and Lawrence last week. We've got several more on the agenda. We've established school resource officers in Warren County schools. Very proud of that. Established the rural fiber. That's been an awesome thing that we did several years ago. We gave $10 million to Warren Rural Electric to help with that. Created Warren County Fire. Very proud of that. We now have full-time folks, firefighters, to shorten the response time. Hopefully that will lower your taxes, your property insurance. We outdoor warning systems. We have tornado shelters at Ed Spear, Fillmore, and Buchanan Parks. We purchased body cams for the Sheriff's Department. I know the Sheriff's very happy for that, and we're very happy for him to have those. We created jobs through workforce development. We're very proud of our new Sugar Maple Square, and they mentioned May 4th is opening for that. Ribbon cutting at 11 o'clock, so please come to that Monday. I've established great relationships with all the county, and without having a relationship with the county, then you just can't get things done. When I call our road department because there's a pothole, it's great. They'll get out there. I've had so many compliments about them getting things done quick. I would like to continue as your 4th District magistrate, and I appreciate your support.
Great, thanks, Rex. All right, in the 6th District, yep, I'll give him that. 6th District, we have 3 candidates running, including our incumbent. Rod Hutchison is with us today. Welcome, take 2 minutes.
Thank you, Judge. Thanks to the members of the court for allowing us to be here this morning. I appreciate even more, I think our public doesn't recognize the service that each of you guys do to our community, and for that I appreciate. Really just take very briefly tell you, I think one of the most important things is that I've asked myself, what's your why? And my why for running for this office is to serve. You know, my history has been service from the time I was 11 years old in Boy Scouts throughout that. You know, I can try and name a list, but Doug gave me 2 minutes and said, make it brief, so I won't. But president of Kiwanis Club, currently involved with Kentucky Baptist Disaster Relief, part of the Builders Association, involved in Rich Pond Baptist Church, and the list goes on and on. I think that we're called to serve. I think that that's part of, you know, my faith, is that we're called to serve others. We've yet to been able to kind of figure out where retirement is in the Bible, and we feel like continuing to serve people is important. My professional experience, I spent almost 40 years working in corporate America for Pfizer and Bayer. The investments that those companies make in their people, I think, have prepared me for this position. Things like negotiation, listening skills, those leadership skills, and people just want to be heard. They want somebody to listen, and they want to know that. And lastly, I think that you know, the biggest way we look at what we expect from someone in the future is look at how they performed in the past. Look at their record, look at their history, and see what they've done. And I think if you look at where I've served not only, excuse me, this community, but folks throughout the community, my church, scouts, name it, it's all important. So thank you.
Thank you, Rod. right, another candidate in the 6th District, Justin Geralds, is here with us.
Good morning, Judge, Magistrates. What a great day to be in fiscal court with this initiative. I'm truly excited about the direction that Warren County is going. With that being said, I am from Monroe County, Tompkinsville, Kentucky. Don't hold that against me. I like to say I'm a Warren County guy with Monroe County roots. So with that being said, my wife, Amy, she's a physician at Graves Gilbert Clinic. I got a 13-year-old daughter named Harper. I got a son named Finn at Rich Pond Elementary. And that's a big part of my why. I hit the ground running here in 2000 when I moved to Warren County. I'm a proud graduate of Western Kentucky University. Go Tops! And I have been serving this community since I got here. I'm involved in local organizations. We serve faithfully at our church at Hillview, and my entire family is very community focused and service driven. We love to serve together as a family. This is not something that I entered into lightly. 4 years ago, my wife and I started praying about this and strategically placing people in our businesses. So one of the biggest differences in me is if elected, this will be my full-time responsibility. I believe the people of Warren County deserve to have someone that's reachable, accessible, professional, and has the visionary for growth that we have. So currently with what we have going on in this study, I've been giving false information during my campaign. I'm sorry. It's not 75,000 people, it's 90,000 people according to that math in the next 25 years. So let me correct myself. We have to start planning now. We've got to start being proactive with smart, responsible growth. So I would humbly ask you for your vote on May 19th. Thanks.
Thank you, Justin. Now, Magistrate Ron Cummings.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you all members of fiscal court. My story is going to be short and sweet. I've been serving this community for 8 years as an elected official, but go way beyond that with other things that I've done. Bringing Soapbox Derby here. I was the president of Kiwanis Club, Lieutenant Governor of Kiwanis Club. My family lives here, 5 children, 6 grandkids. And I take a mantra from the judge by saying, I want this to be the best place in the world to live, to work, play, and have fun, and raise your children. And I think it's important. It's so kind of ironic and prophetic that the BG 2050 plan was presented today, because there's been a lot of chatter about us being reactive instead of proactive. And I can assure you that this court that I'm honored to serve with has been proactive in all aspects of growth for Warren County. I'm excited about what's happening. I'm excited about what we've done so far. I am the only candidate with true experience. They may claim stuff. I have 4 businesses too. I never bragged of my 4 businesses that I run, but I do. And I'm a businessman. That's why it makes me a good fit to be on this court and continue to serve on this court. I understand finances. I understand infrastructure. I understand everything it takes. And the most important thing I got is I have the relationships with everybody that you don't miss a beat if you continue to elect me and continue to serve you as your magistrate for District 6. I'm honored to serve. I hope I get a chance to get 4 more. And I promise you that I will, and probably the proudest thing I'm going to add one last thing. The thing I'm proudest of is that I'm always available. Either I'll answer my call live, or I promise you I'll call you back within a short period of time. In my opinion, that's the biggest thing a magistrate can do for you, is be available. And I can say there's not one person out there can say that I didn't return their call or get with them and help address issues. And if elected, you can continue. Rod kind of put it in perspective. I'm glad he said what he said. A good indication of what's going to happen is what you've already done. And I can promise you, what I've already done should speak volumes to the citizens and voters in Warren County District. I humbly ask for your vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron. All right, and then in the fall, we'll do this again in October. Anyone on the ballot then? Thank you. I appreciate everyone's patience. Thank you. We'll get back to our agenda. Number 10, approve first reading of ordinance 2607, setting forth the requirements for obtaining a franchise for the operation and maintenance of a cable system in Warren County, Kentucky, setting forth conditions accompanying the grant of said franchise and providing the regulations and use of said system. Motion by Squire Lastly, second by Squire Lawrence. Discussion or questions? Please call roll.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lastly.
Item 11 is approve the treasurer's report for March 2026. Motion by Squire Cummings, second by Squire McWhorter. Discussion, please call roll.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lastly.
Yes.
Item 12 is approved determination amount of $79,109 to Gunner Roofing for roof replacement at Barren River Volunteer Fire Department Number 1 and Woodburn Number 1. These were publicly advertised as the lowest and best of 6 bids received. Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire Cummings. Discussion or questions?
I just want to add that it's so happy to get 6 bidders looking to do business with Warren County, so I'm very pleased with that.
Very pleased with those results too, and a great improvement to both Barren River and Woodburn stations as well. Please call the roll.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Item 13 is accept quarterly financial reports from Woodburn and Plano Fire Departments. Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire Cummings. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Item 14 is order 2614, reappointing Vince Bird to the Warren County Water District Board of Commissioners. Motion by Squire Lawrence, second by Squire Williams. Discussion? Please call the roll.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Item 15 is approve renewal of Warren County property and liability insurance in the amount of $915,096 and workers' comp insurance in the amount of $426,592 to CAECO for fiscal year 26-27. Motion by Squire Cummings, second by Squire Aldridge. Discussion? Please call roll.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Item 16 is approve the third quarter financial report for Warren County. Motion by Squire Williams, second by Squire Lawrence. Discussion? Please call roll.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Item 17 is approve the receipt for transferring delinquent property tax bills from the sheriff to the county clerk. Motion by Squire Cummings, second by Squire McWhorter. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Item 18 is approve the lease agreement with Enterprise Fleet for a 2026 Ford F-250 for the Parks Department Downtown Landscaping Division, an amount not to exceed $1,200 per month for 60 months. This is our contracted vendor. Motion by Squire Lawrence, second by Squire Lasley. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Item 19 is approve Resolution 2506, adopting and approving the execution of a county road aid co-op program for fiscal year 26-27, and authorize the judge executive to execute all related documents. It's a motion by Squire Lawrence, second by Squire Cummings. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Item 20 is approve memorandum of agreement with the state to accept the Emergency Management Performance Grant in the amount of $48,459.27 and authorize the judge executive to execute all related documents. Motion by Squire Lawrence, second by Squire Williams. Discussion or questions? Please call roll.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Item 21 is authorize the judge executive to execute all documents relating to the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet Roadway Centerline Maintenance Program through Brad. Motion by Squire McWhorter, second by Squire Aldridge. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Item 22 is approve resolution 2607 relating to the acceptance and maintenance of road segments altered by the realignment of Kentucky 185. Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire McWhorter. Discussion or questions? It's a great project out 185. It's making a big difference, so just call a roll.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Item 23 is approved determination amount of $19,950 to Jail Geek for preparation of the U.S. Marshal Service Intergovernmental Agreement for housing rates on federal inmates at the Warren County Regional Jail. This is a single source vendor and is paid for by the Securus Capital Improvement Funds at no cost to Warren County. Motion by Squire Lawrence, second by Squire Lasley. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Item 24, approved determination amount of $7,600 to 908 Devices for renewal, warranty, and support for the MX908 drug detection device at the jail. And this is the contracted vendor, paid for out of the canteen account, no cost to Warren County. Motion by Squire Cummings, second by Squire Aldridge. Discussion, please call roll.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Item 25 is approve the amended and restated workforce coordinator agreement with the City of Bowling Green and the Bowling Green Area Chamber of Commerce through February 28, 2028, in the amount of $35,000 annually, and authorize the judge executive to execute all related documents. Motion by Squire Williams, second by Squire Lawrence. Discussion, please call roll.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Item 26, approve the Workforce Participation Program contract renewal with Crowd South for the Bowling Green Works Initiative in the amount of $90,000 with a city match for a 12-month term ending June 30th, 2027, and authorize the judge executive to execute all related documents. Motion by Squire McWhorter, second by Squire Aldridge. That's, if you remember, it's a great program, really making a difference with our workforce development that was presented here last week. Question, please call roll.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Item 27 is approved determination amount of $14,331.96 to Rogue Fitness for health and wellness workout equipment for the fire department. 3 quotes were obtained. This was the best evaluated quote. Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire Lawrence. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Item 28 is approved first reading of ordinance 2608, authorizing a lighting agreement between Warren Rural Electric Cooperative Corporation and the Reserve at Plano Phase 1. Motion by Squire Cummings, second by Squire Aldridge. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Item 29 is approved first reading of ordinance 2609, authorizing a lighting agreement between Warren Rural Electric Cooperative Corporation and Northridge Section 13, Phases 1 and 2. Motion by Squire McWhorter, second by Squire Aldridge. Discussion? Please call the roll.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Item 30 is approved first reading of ordinance 2610, amending the 25-26 budget for Warren County. Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire Lawrence. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Item 31, approved first reading of ordinance 2611, establishing Cedrus Avenue, Cedar Point Lane, and Chaps Lane located in Cedar Point subdivision. Phase 1 is county roads and authorizing maintenance thereon and setting speed limits thereon. Motion by Squire Cummings, second by Squire Aldridge. Discussion? Please call roll.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Item 32, approve order 2616, declaring surplus property vehicles for the jail. Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire Williams. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Item 33, approve memorandum of agreement to establish an agreement for the Warren County, Kentucky ASAP Local Board effective from July 1, 2026 through June 30th, 2027. Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire McWhorter. Discussion or questions? Please call roll.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Item 34 is approved determination amount of $7,500 to Warren County Water District for the purchase and installation of a fire hydrant located near 1600 Petros Browning Road. Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire McWhorter.
Judge, this is just for the court's information. This is part of a updating of the water main that's going through there from 6-inch to 8-inch. It's going to greatly support the Browning Volunteer Fire Department. And then also, we should see a very positive effect in our county's ISO rating as we continue to help with infrastructure for water supply.
Thank you for that, Master Aldridge. Please call roll.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Item 35 is approved budget transfers for Warren County. Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire McWhorter. Discussion? Please call the roll.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
Item 36, approved determination amount of $15,456.15 to Jail Tracker for the renewal of support and maintenance for the jail management system. This is the contracted vendor. Motion by Squire Aldridge, second by Squire Cummings. Discussion? Please call roll.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes. Item 37, will Treasurer please report the claims?
General Fund, $2,216,154. Road Fund, $95,204. Jail Fund, $486,893. Stormwater Fund, $57,209. TIF Fund, $1,450,087. Transient Tax Fund, $451,263. Federal Forfeiture Fund, $890. Any questions?
Motion to pay our bills.
Motion by Squire Cummings, second by Squire Aldridge. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Williams.
Yes.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Aldridge.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lasley.
Yes.
All right, if any of the department heads have anything they'd like to share or welcome, I'll just remind everyone, Monday, May 4th at 11 a.m., we're having a ribbon cutting for our brand new sheriff's department. I talked to the sheriff about it. It is Monday, May 4th, and people remind me of Star Wars Day. We're working on some stormtroopers to greet you when you come in, but I don't know if it's going to happen or not. But if any department heads have anything to say, that's fine. Yep, Sheriff.
I know you know Judge and most of the magistrates, but yesterday was a special day for former Sheriff Peanuts Gaines, and the Department of Criminal Justice on the western part of Kentucky in Madisonville, they broke ground yesterday on that new development. We have 3 people at the academy over there now, but they're naming one of the buildings after Sheriff Gaines. So I think that was phenomenal and worth mentioning this morning. And we're also lucky this week, or fortunate, Dean Clark, one of our school resource officers, he had retired from the ATF, came to us just a little over a year ago, but he was named the Kentucky Association SRO of the Year for the Commonwealth of Kentucky, so very exciting on that as well. Yep. He is in Alabama right now training with our Airwake dog that will be part of this new upcoming school year's safety plan. But so he's going to have to drive back from Alabama at 6 weeks training to accept this here another week. But really excited about that. He does a phenomenal job, as all of our SROs do. But it's great to have your employees recognized statewide for that as well. So
great. Thank you, Sheriff.
Sheriff, I saw that this morning on Spectrum One where they were honoring and unveiling a picture of Peanuts.
Yeah,
That's pretty special. Okay.
That's great.
I saw it.
All right. Representative Jackson's here. I'm not going to let him speak too much because it'll go too long. We've already been here long. But he's welcome to come up for 31 seconds. He's our buddy.
Well, I thought you was going to wait till everybody left before you called me up.
Well,
was that the intention?
Let's take a vote.
No, thank you, Judge. I really, the reason I came was the BG 2050. That's so exciting. And I was in a meeting Monday with Ben Peterson and Sam and some of those folks on transportation, and they started going over it and told me about today. I said, I really want to come and see what that is. So I do want to thank you and the Fiscal Court for being proactive for the growth that this community is going to see over the next few years. So I do really want to thank you for that. This was the budget session, and I just want to mention a couple of things that it was 13 weeks. This was the long session. So 13 weeks in Frankfurt from Monday through Friday. I don't know in dog years how many that would be, but it would be a long time. But it was the budget session. I do want to say that we fought hard, Judge, for the last couple of years on the TIF district. There's some people in Frankfurt that would like to cut that out, and we have fought tooth and nail to make sure that that stays in there. And
Thank you for that,
It
Kevin.
did.
It's ginormous for us.
We got $16 million. House Bill 900 was a funding, economic development bill. We had some extra money with the policies that we have now. We've built up, we had about, I don't know, $4 billion in excess. We took $1.7 billion of that and put it into what we call economic development projects across the state. And I'm proud to say that $16 million of that came back to Bowling Green and Warren County for the Riverfront project. I understand that will help speed that project up immensely. So glad to do that. We also got $9.1 million for Warren County Public Schools for the Impact Center. And if you haven't been out there and seen what that project is, it's amazing. We had gotten about $10 million a few years ago for Bowling Green City Schools, so don't want to leave them out. So the last couple of things, one is that I worked in conjunction with Jailer Harmon on House Bill 188 to make working in jails and correctional facilities across the state of Kentucky a safer endeavor. Of all people, we need them. So that bill helps to make working in those facilities safer. And also House Bill 189, I worked with Brian and Sue Perigin and some others on that bill. And it's called a pedestrian safety bill. And where we come off the interstate or some of these busy highways where we see people standing on the street corners, whether they're holding up signs or whatever, we've had fatalities, we've had many accidents in the last few years. That will be illegal starting July the 15th to be able to stand there for no reason. If you have a reason, you can get it permitted through the city. I think about our cheerleaders maybe wanting to have a car wash or fire department fundraiser, whatever. There are exceptions to that rule, but overall it will help clean up, I think, some of the problems that we've had, accidents that we've had in those situations. As always, thank you all for what you do. I'm honored and privileged to be able to represent you in Frankfurt. Thank you, Judge.
You do a great job, Representative Jackson. Thank you. All right, if any magistrates, before we wrap up, McWhorter.
Pancake breakfast, Smiths Grove Fire Department, the Saturday morning from 7 till 10.
Thank you.
Judge, two things to put on your calendar. Also, the Browning Volunteer Fire Department will be having their benefit pancake breakfast on Saturday, May the 9th from 7 to 10. That's at the Browning Community Center. And then additionally, I will be hosting a community event on Tuesday, May 12th at the Richardsville Community Center, and that will be from 6 to 7:30.
Great, thank you. Mr. Cummings.
A couple things. Obviously, the Plano group's having a May 2nd over G.H. Freeman Park as an event for vendors and so forth to come out to G.H. Freeman Park. Starts at 8 o'clock that morning. On a personal note, one of my granddaughters is graduating from the 6th grade at Plano Elementary School on May 15th. I want to do a shout out to her. Obviously, I'm going to continue to talk about Operation Anvil until we have it. It's sneaking up on us Saturday, May 23rd. It is the most unique event that happens in Bowling Green, Warren County, where we'll have a full World War II reenactment and a special ceremony for all veterans or active duty personnel at 11 o'clock that morning after the first battle. So I hope people come out to it. It's our 8th year. It's been a great event and proud to be part of that. And then last and not least is the fact that I think the two things that we have to do as fiscal court, provide safety for our citizens. And the second most important thing we do is hold fair and honest elections. We have one coming up May 19th, and we have early voting starting the next time we meet in court. That May 14th, 15th, and 16th will be early voting. And as a citizen of Warren County, or citizen of America, the most precious right you have is the right to vote. So I'm going to encourage everybody to get out and participate with whoever you want to vote for, but get out and exercise your right as a citizen of this country, and this county specifically, to get out and vote. Just a reminder for election.
Great, thank you. Squire Lasley. Yeah, I'm switching up.
I'd like to congratulate the WKU and Sky CTC graduates. Before we meet again, they'll have had commencement graduation. Hopefully a lot of them choose to stay in beautiful Bowling Green and Warren County. The other thing I'd like to do is recognize the passing of Charles Meeks. Charles was a former First District Magistrate a few years ago. Last year he celebrated his 100th birthday. A giant in the community. His son Charles works for Parks. Daughter Kathy Bishop's been a big community member as well, but it's a life well lived and a significant impact on the community. Thanks.
Thank you. Squire Lawrence.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Squire Williams.
Two quick things. One, you talked about what went on at Potter Gray this week. That I attended that, and that was wonderful to see all those young people expressing their ideas and talking about BG 2050. Some of those great ideas that they had, and they were so passionate about it. So it was wonderful. Also, on Monday evening, I was very happy to attend the awarding of some certificates for some fire training that recently took place, as Warren County recognized 18 new volunteer firemen in our community, one of which is my oldest grandson, Hunter.
That's right.
And Hunter is now a junior volunteer fireman with the Alvaton Fire Department.
Thank you for that. That's
So
right.
thank you, Hunter. Appreciate it. That's a lifelong dream for him.
It was fantastic. We do have a gentleman that's requested to speak to fiscal court today, so we'll allow 3 minutes. Mr. Alsbrooks, sorry about that.
Thank you for allowing me to speak this morning. I want to introduce myself. My name is Gary Osbrooks. I am a U.S. Army veteran with 23 years of military honorable service and retired at the rank of E8 First Sergeant. I have 2 peacekeeping deployments under my belt, 2 combat tours, and a 2-time recipient of the Bronze Star.
Mr. Alsbrooks, I should have asked one thing. Can you state your address? I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry?
Your address, please.
My address? Oh, I'm sorry, 433 Walnut Lane.
Thank you.
In the military, we are required to maintain a very high standard of personal conduct and discipline on and off duty. We're required to maintain a morally and ethically straight compass. From the beginning, we are imbued to exemplify the 7 Army Corps values, which are loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. And consequences of violating those values could result in non-judicial punishment under the Uniform Code of Military Justice. Why, you ask me, why I'm saying all this to you today. I filed an ethics complaint against a sitting member of this court for unprofessional behavior, lack of integrity, and physical violence. I received a letter 2 days ago from the Ethics Committee, or the Ethics Commission, and they have, I'll just read you a part of it here. This letter is to advise you that we are terminating our inquiry. We have determined that the allegations do not fall within the scope of the prohibitions of the Warren County Code of Ethics. The Code of Ethics is unfortunately limited in standards of conduct, which it addresses, and the allegations in this manner fall outside the scope of that ordinance. I personally find this letter disrespectful, very dismissive, and very vague in its explanation because it does not address how the inquiry was conducted, how information was gathered, who made the final decision to terminate, no reference to any article in the Code of Ethics that led to the decision to terminate, nor was I told where I can access a copy of the Code of Ethics. And I'm just wondering, was it because of not enough evidence provided on either side? An appointed member of this court was on the phone with me today that this occurred. Although he wasn't physically there, or this person wasn't physically there, they obviously heard what was going on, and this person also told me to remove myself from the situation and go sit in my vehicle, which I did. I wonder if this person was questioned or interviewed. I'm having a hard time understanding how unprofessional behavior and physical violence against a constituent doesn't fall within the scope of the prohibitions of the Warren County Code of Ethics. How does unprofessional behavior of any sort fall outside the scope of the prohibitions of the Warren County Code of Ethics? And this begs the question, What other unacceptable and unprofessional behavior does not fall within the scope of the Warren County Code of Ethics? Another more concerning and obvious question is, what does the Warren County Ethics Committee consider to be acceptable and unacceptable behavior of our elected officials? As a citizen of this county, we are held accountable by laws governing what behavior is deemed appropriate and inappropriate. If we fail to adhere to these laws, we face consequences and must atone for those offenses. Our elected officials must be held to the same standard. So my question to this court as it sits today and to the potential new members of this court is there a guarantee that we citizens can receive to ensure that the Code of Ethics, which is grossly unacceptable and obviously lacking in its description of what acceptable and unacceptable behavior is, will it be updated to include obvious standards of conduct that does not fall outside the scope of the ordinance and will strictly apply to all elected officials, regardless of their position or title, and that they will be held accountable for violating standards of conduct and reprimanded accordingly? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Osbrooks. I appreciate the comments. I'm going to just speak very quickly on something that Amy's going to look at me like I've lost my mind, but I'm not going. The code that we have right now was written years ago. This board has not updated that, but in light of recent events has taken under consideration adding to it. What that letter basically said was, while it's an unfortunate incident, it is not specifically expressed in our current ordinance that they can act on that. And so they interviewed many, many people, and I'm sure that board would be happy to sit down with you, to speak with you, to tell you what they found out. I asked that they would be happy to meet with you on that. What I will tell you is this fiscal court will address those issues and see if we can change our ordinance to include that. And I appreciate your comments about your concern for the community greatly. And let me just add as well, you're welcome to come back shortly, but let me thank you for your service to this great country above all things. So thank you for that. Yes, sir. All right. Thank you for that. I got a couple things, and then thanks for everyone's patience. I will say the members of the BG 2050 will be around afterwards. If any media wants to speak with them, they're welcome to. Again, Monday, May 4th, 11 a.m., we have a great day, a ribbon cutting for our new sheriff's office. That'll be out at Sugar Maple Square. Today at 3 o'clock, we have a ribbon cutting for the Convention and Visitors Bureau, and I'd love to see everyone out there. It's a fantastic new building. You'll see that. We were late today. I want to appreciate everyone's patience. Former Judge Mike Buchanan was honored with the Junior Achievement Business Hall of Fame, and it included a speech. So enough said. Thank you all so very much. Very well deserved, but I want to apologize. We never start late, but we did today, so it's fine. Thank you for all of that. I'm forgetting something, and I'll remember it here in a second. Oh, yes. He left. Buddy Steen, my good friend, related somehow to Sarah Bessinger, but her dad. But Buddy has worked for WKU for years and years. He's been at the Innovation Campus, done great things. He's retiring June 30th. I told him I would want to say something about it, and he looked at me, winked, and left. And so that's fine. So maybe he can watch the replay. Our next fiscal court meeting will be May 14th at 9 a.m. We appreciate everyone's patience. I'm excited about the future of this community. Thank you all so very much for coming. And if there's nothing further to come forward, we are adjourned.